The point you make in this book is that Biafra ought not to have invaded the Midwest.
It's something that I have to draw a map for you to see. It was the greatest blunder of Biafra, and that's why they failed. Biafra escalated the war. There was no reason to have attacked Midwest.
Now,
the Midwest would have been their point of information. Agbo people will say, the northern soldiers don't reach, they are coming, and you are ready for them. They did not have any good reason to cross River Niger.
Alexander Madiebo was the GOC of the Biafran army.
Good.
During the war.
True.
He wrote a foreword for your book.
He did.
That is foreword 4.
Yes. Foreword 5, I think.
Foreword 5, rather.
Okay.
Foreword 5. He says in the foreword,
okay,
for instance, the author, that is you,
yeah,
may not have known that the Midwest Biafran offensive was personal to Colonel Victor Banjo,
okay,
using scantily armed militiamen,
yes,
and kept a secret from the Biafran army commander.
Yes.
He says, moreover, the author could not have known that Colonel Banjo had deceived General Ojukwu into authorizing him to undertake the operation to capture Lagos through Benin and Ibadan. What do you have to say?
Again, I told you, I never met Victor Banjo as a senior officer, as an infantry officer. He was even not an infantry officer.
He was of the engineering corps.
He was an engineer, okay. But probably he was interested in liberating the West, or whatever was his interest, I didn't know. But that tactics of attacking one man was a wrong tactics in any book, in any language. Because all he would have done, even if they wanted to do that, go to your aim. And when you get there, in the morning at 6 a.m., somebody will knock at the door and salute, sir. They say, make I bring you to Enugu. Who are you? And I will see Biafra uniform. They even went to Warri. They went to, you don't need all that. You go to your aim. If you go to your aim, in the army, aim is in anything in life, as a matter of fact, the aim is very important. Let me give you some examples of the importance of aim. Let us say today that we are in Ibadan and they said, let us go capture Lagos. Why do we want to capture Lagos? And you say, oh, we want to collect tax. They have a lot of money. And since we have good soldiers, let's go capture Lagos and collect tax from them. If you arrive at the Bar Beach with your troops, you have won the war, or you have won the battle, but you lost the war. The aim was to collect tax. Arriving at the Bar Beach, everybody will have been refugee towards Seme border or towards Benin. So who are you going to collect tax from? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you lost the aim. Your strategy and tactics will have been, by the time you arrive at Abeokuta, you want some troops will go to Seme, some troops will go to Ore or somewhere, and some will stay at Shagamu Junction. And then you have food, you have water, you even have milk for children. As soon as the refugees arrive, you start to give them water, you start to give them, to look after them. And then they will say, these are the people they say they want to capture us. These are good people. Then you will tell them to go back. You cannot be a refugee in your own country. It happened here. I wrote in my book. We told the refugees, go back to your villages. 3 Marine Commando never had a refugee camp. We had no even prisoners camp. Prisoner of war, the Biafrans that we captured, we put them back in Marine Commando. So, in that case, you give them water, you look after their children, you play with their people, and then they will go back. The objective remains Lagos, but the aim was to collect tax. And you can only collect tax from people that believe in you and loyal to you.
So they missed the aim of that movement.
That's it. In the same objective, Lagos still objective. Ibadan, we were going to capture Lagos. Why? We want to occupy their houses, and they have good buildings, and we are living in mud houses. If you arrive at the bar beach and they run away, that's what we're looking for. We will occupy their buildings. The objective remains the same, which is Lagos, but the aim is not the same. So if you stick to your aim, you were looking for Biafra. Why were you looking for Biafra? For our survival. Why will you cross River Niger? Whether Banjo, this must be an afterthought. Whether Banjo crossed on his own, or how could Banjo carry Biafran troops, will carry, what do you call them in Biafra at that time?
Yeah, the point Madiebo even makes in his book.
Yes.
In this book.
Yes.
This is Alexander Madiebo's book. His own account of the war.
Okay.
So the point he makes here.
Okay.
Yes, Ojukwu knew about the crossing.
Okay.
But he also makes that point that Ojukwu was deceived about the crossing.
How could Ojukwu, me as commander-in-chief of my army, you took my troops, you took my vehicles, you took my money, you took my food? The commander-in-chief must have been an idiot.
Now, from other accounts, the aim was capture Lagos.
If that was the aim, go
straight
to
Lagos.
That's the point I am making.
But Banjo stopped in Benin.
He couldn't have gone to Lagos because I had killed the point unit at Asaba and the point unit at Agbo. So they were cautious. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Therefore, they did not know where next I put an ambush.
But they eventually got to Ore.
Okay, when they got to Ore, at that time, it was daybreak. Everybody was waiting. I had already telephoned everybody. The only person that did not react well was Obasanjo. Because when I called, he said he had no equipment. He had nothing to use to blow Oluwa Bridge. If you blow the bridge, they would not be able to cross. They are coming in full force.
You wanted him to blow the bridge?
Yes, to blow the bridge at Oluwa River.
Who did you call again?
And then I called the governor when Obasanjo said he had no equipment. So I called the governor.
Adebayo?
Adebayo. Because Adebayo was even like my mentor. He was the only black person, the only African amongst the European that interviewed me as a cadet. And the Europeans were saying, well, the man, whether they forgot or whatever, they were still interviewing me. I sat down there and they look at each other. They said, wait a minute. This man has answered all the questions well. This young man is too small. And Adebayo said, oh, he will grow, he will grow. And like all of us grew up, he will grow. That he answered the questions well, sports captain of Ibadan Boys High School, and he's been doing very well. And he answered the questions well. That was how I got to know Adebayo very well.
So when you called him...
And I called him, and I told him what had happened. And all I wanted was I will continue to lay ambush. By the grace of God, I was alone. But all night, I could lay ambush. So Adebayo then called the PWD people. The man's name was Akonde. They call him CS Akonde. They called the PWD people. Can you people blow the bridge at Oluwa before the Biafran people will come? They said yes. They had all the equipment. And they went. They blew the bridge. So by the time they got to Ore, the bridges had been blown. The Biafrans could not cross. And instead of going through Warri and go to Benin and go on, the order for Chukwuka was to capture Warri, and he did. You didn't need Warri. You didn't need Eho. You needed Lagos. If he was an infantryman, he probably maybe do better. But Akaga, who was the commander of the troops, he came back with only his pants.
You were an infantry officer?
Yes. Yes.
You like guns. You like attacks.
Yes. First of all, in an infantry, you are taught how to defend your country by attacking others or by defending your country. All this, and I was instructor at the military school in Zaria, and I instructor at the tactics school, which was NMTC. So I read many books.